Welcome to the Smart Weight Loss Coaching Podcast. I'm Dr. Lisa Olson, a board-certified weight loss medicine specialist and certified life coach. In this podcast, I'll share fresh insights and effective techniques for incorporating mindset, habit change, and proven science into your life. Are you ready to achieve sustainable weight loss, wellness, and longevity? Then let's jump in and lose weight the smart way. Welcome back. My car has been making a soft, solitary thunking noise on and off for a while now. It emanates from the rear of the car on the driver's side, and it only happens when I'm slowing down at a stop sign or accelerating as I drive away from a stop sign. But it doesn't happen every time, maybe once out of every 10 stop signs. And this noise is super soft. I only hear it if there's nothing playing on the car's stereo system and no one is talking. My hair hasn't exactly been on fire about fixing this soft, gentle thunking noise because I've been back and forth to the dealership to address it a few separate times already, and no one's really sure what it is, nor do they seem super worried. Here's the thing. I actually love when I have to bring my car in for a tune-up or to keep addressing this noise because I have a planned treat at my car dealership service department, and I'm actually kind of bummed out that they seem to have fixed my car perfectly this time. Maybe I'll need an oil change soon. Let me tell you about these cookies. They're called Carol's cookies, and they come from a local business with a baking facility in Northbrook, Illinois. Carol is the founder, and if her Instagram account is any indication, she's still making and occasionally eating her own cookies using the same recipe she developed decades ago. Carol is 81 years old, and she's run Carol's Cookies for close to 50 years. I imagine you're wondering how this story about the world's most amazing cookies from my car repair place is supposed to help you with weight loss. Here's how. You can glean two things from my experience with these cookies. The first is something I did well, and the second is something I screwed up. So hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. Here's what went well. Yesterday, when I went to pick up my car, as I always do when I have to go to the dealership, I ate a package of 2 Carol's cookies. And I ate them without remorse, without shaming myself, and without punishing myself later by restricting my food. I firmly believe that when we get all diety and restrictive around treats, it actually makes weight loss harder and we're less likely to stick to our protocol. We have to find our healthy balance and set ourselves up for success when it comes to allowing treats like Carol's cookies. A lot of the women I work with are uncomfortable planning and allowing treats. They're so used to always considering treats forbidden that they resist and resist and resist, like trying to hold a beach ball under the water. Eventually, the ball pops up, the treat pops in your mouth, and it happens in a hot second that feels out of your control. There's a better way. If you're curating what kind of treats you have, meaning what the ingredients are, and if you're curating how many treats you have, as well as how often you have them, then it's unlikely to spiral out of control or to block your weight loss. You know what happens when you make cookies forbidden? Eventually, you'll probably eat them anyway, and then you might feel guilty, like you're a failure, and you'll beat yourself up for eating them. Then some of you like to punish yourself later and restrict what you eat the next day, leaving you feeling hungry and deprived. That sets you up to crave more cookies or to binge eat or to just spiral into an overeating and restricting cycle that's hard to break. Believe me, I've been there too, and it's so great to turn things upside down and reduce the negativity around treats. What I recommend is to both plan and allow treats. I know I don't go to my car repair place more than a few times a year at the most, so I have room to plan some Carol's cookies when I do. Now, you might argue, and I could see your point, that I should consider saving my treat for a more special situation. That's fair. And that's why I always invite my kids to go with me to the car repair shop. Because having a cookie with my kids sounds more special than having one by myself in the waiting room of the car place. Although my kids usually say they'll take a pass even when I remind them about the cookies. They're rather quick to point out that it's not worth spending a couple hours in the service department of the car dealership with mom just to get a cookie, even if it's a Carol's cookie. Nonetheless, I sit down in what I euphemistically call the lounge area of the car dealership, and I savor those 2 cookies. I bring my own coffee because their ultra-processed coffee machine has a bunch of flavored coffees that aren't my jam. I slowly sip my delicious black coffee while savoring my 2 cookies, slowly but enthusiastically. It's like I'm making a commercial for mindful eating. I look at the cookies. I smell them. I take a tiny taste and roll it around in my mouth. I think about the bite as I slowly masticate it, and then after I swallow it, I reflect on its awesomeness and my eagerness for the next bite. Now, if I did this every day or even every week, it would be pretty hard to lose or even maintain my weight. It would certainly be hard to manage my blood sugar or prevent my pre-diabetes from turning into outright type 2 diabetes. So, I have a clear plan for this treat. I have it only when I bring my car in for service, and that could be anywhere from once a year to once a quarter, but typically not more than that. Again, I'm not saying I'll never eat a cookie except in this situation, but I'm not going to go online and order some Carol's cookies or pick them up in the grocery store because that's not aligned with my plan. Let's come back to the details of Carol's cookies because this is where I made a mistake. I read the package the first time I had these cookies, like I read the package of everything I eat, and I think I had an oatmeal raisin cookie initially. Believe me, I know it's not a health food, it's a cookie, but they're made from the same ingredients that she used in her original recipe from decades ago. That means Carol uses butter, egg, sugar, wheat flour, rolled oats, pecans, raisins, salt, baking soda, and vanilla. Straight off the ingredient list of the package. That all sounds good, right? It's made from real culinary ingredients, not the non-nutritive, ultra-processed ingredients that we often see in store-bought cookies. But here's what I didn't do. I didn't recheck the ingredient label after the first time. I trusted that one batch of cookies made with real ingredients meant that every batch and every flavor of every cookie, now and forever, would be the same. Before I tell you what was in the cookies this time, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor. Haha, just kidding. It's still me, Dr. Lisa Olson, founder of Smart Weight Loss Coaching. If you're as focused on your health as you are on the scale, you're my person. In my online program, we'll help you establish healthy habits for weight loss, better health, and longevity. For those of you who have looked at our website before, you'll be excited to see that you no longer have to commit to a 3-month program to join us. If you'd like to learn more about our affordable monthly membership, head over to smartweightlosscoaching.com. And we're back. I was just telling you that cookies aren't forbidden when you're trying to lose weight or improve your metabolic health, but you have to be strategic about your treats. You need to plan them at least 24 hours in advance, and you have to pay attention to what's in your cookies or your treat. The trap I fell into was getting drawn into Carol's Cookies founder story. On their website and on Instagram, they feature the adorable Carol, still involved in the business, maybe still running it, I'm not sure. I was so charmed by her story that I neglected to turn a curious eye to the ingredient list of each type of cookie. The news isn't bad, but what I found when I finally looked a bit more closely is that not every cookie flavor is actually made from her original recipe because these cookies have things inside them, like chocolate chips, that they probably outsource. And these chocolate chips have Nova 4, meaning ultra-processed ingredients. For example, the chocolate chip cookies have soy lecithin in the chocolate chips and some flavor enhancers in the vanilla. We see the same flavor enhancers in the sugar cookies too. At the end of the day, that's not a deal breaker for me. The amount of ultra-processed ingredients is small, and I don't have these cookies often. But now, because I'm more aware that these Nova 4 ingredients are in some flavors of these cookies, I might change my plan for when to eat them. I might plan that I only eat a pack of cookies when they have oatmeal raisin, because that flavor is not an ultra-processed type of cookie. Remember, that's the kind that had all real culinary ingredients like sugar, salt, flour, butter, oatmeal, nuts, and so on. Or maybe I decide to tap out at a maximum of 1 pack of Carol's cookies per year. That's an option too. I can make whatever plan I want, but I do want to occasionally allow these cookies because I love them. So how do we coach ourselves through that situation? Let's imagine that after having a couple of cookies this week, when I brought my car in, I had to go back because the noise returned. Now what should I do? What would you do? Of course, there's no right or wrong answer here, but as you know, I have prediabetes and I'm always working hard to maintain my weight. So if I have to take my car back to be repaired again soon, I would choose to pass on the cookies the next time. That means I'd need to make a specific plan. When we plan our food and plan our treats, we do so much better than when we set some nebulous goal about eating healthier and limiting sugar. That's too vague. My plan is not to eat any Carol's cookies this time, which is really a Herculean ask because they're so amazing, but I can do it. And that starts with setting a plan. There are 2 ways to approach this now. One is to tap into skills and strategies, which we do talk about in my online program. And the women in the program all know the myriad of strategies they can try. For example, here's one. I don't have to go into the lounge where the cookies are. I can stand by the desk or go into the car showroom or even walk around in the parking lot outside. I could call my mom and chat with her while I'm waiting, which makes it unlikely that I'd want to eat anything while I'm speaking. These are strategies to set myself up for success without creating a lot of food drama. Sitting in front of the cookie station and telling myself to resist is not a recipe for success. We all know that willpower is a limited resource, and that's true for me as much as it is for anyone. The most important thing to practice when it comes to food desire is to practice sitting with an urge without acting on it. Here's how we can coach ourselves in that situation. First of all, name it to tame it, right? Notice what you're feeling and describe it to yourself like you're an objective observer. I'd say something like, those cookies are delicious and it feels really hard to sit here wanting them without eating one. It's actually a little annoying. I'm feeling restless and bored and distractible and a little annoyed. I'm just going to let it feel annoying. I can handle being annoyed. I have a cat who feels the need to wake me up at 5:30 a.m. sometimes, and that's annoying too. But I don't go ballistic over it. I just lie in bed feeling mildly annoyed. And that's how I handle my feelings about the cookies. I'm annoyed that they're there. I'm annoyed that I'm feeling the sense of unwelcome desire. And I'm annoyed with myself for committing not to eat them. But here's the thing. I can handle feeling annoyed. I'm not dying. My heart didn't stop beating. No one has to find a defibrillator and check my chest or start CPR. I'm just annoyed. And it's not going to kill me and it's not going to last forever. Also, it's not a gigantic emotion for me. Being annoyed is a minor nuisance. We know that food noise or desire will typically peak in around 20, maybe 30 minutes, and then it usually declines. I can handle feeling annoyed for 20 minutes, knowing that feeling is likely to fizzle out over time. That's it. That's how we sit with desire without acting on it. We talk to ourselves about it and remind ourselves that we can do hard things, and this too shall pass. The more we practice that, the better we get at it. So even if I only sit with desire for 10 minutes, and then I go and eat a pack of Carol's delicious cookies, fine. It's actually a step in the right direction, successive approximations toward a goal. I just showed my brain that I can handle sitting with desire for 10 minutes, which might be 9 minutes longer than I sat with it the last time. Now I can aim for 15 minutes the next time I take my car in for a thunk. What I want you to do is to practice cultivating a kind and patient inner voice that reminds you that you can do hard things. It is hard to want cookies and to sit near them without eating them. But the more we practice that without resisting them, the more we allow ourselves to feel the fact that it's hard and maybe annoying, the more adept we'll become at taking a pass on unplanned treats. The more you do this, the more you are in charge of yourself and the cookies aren't in charge of you. I promise that, like everything, we get good at what we practice. Now, it's time for your MBA, your next best action. Maybe you'd like to try planning a treat for yourself for some time within the next week. Plan something you'll really enjoy. Plan the way you're going to savor it, delight in it, and shake loose any feelings that you're being bad. That's just not helpful. Thanks so much for listening. If you'd like more support during your smart weight loss journey, check out our group coaching program at smartweightlosscoaching.com. Until next time, stay well and stay smart.